Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube. So today Chris and I are going to be talking about ways that we can move our rib cage with arm training. Using a lot of different ways we can train our biceps or our triceps to get some twisting, turning, ribs back and ribs forward through our rib cage. So the first two exercises we're going to be going through are going to be exercises that push our ribs backwards. If you've seen our other videos, ribs back are going to be very good at helping us with our deadlifts. So biceps are an easy way to do this, especially if we can use something where like a bench or a machine is pushing our chest or our sternum back into our body. So we have a look at Chris here. He's draping himself over an incline bench that's roughly set up at 30 to 45 degrees. And he's thinking about letting that bench push his sternum or the chest bone right here in the middle back into his body as far as he can. It creates this little bit of a hunchback, and that's our ribs back position that we're going for. He's then either got an easy bar or dumbbells or straight bar, whatever you have. He's going to be staying in this position as he does a curl, keeping it nice and simple, just training it like any other bicep curl, and just going for as many reps as he can. So the main thing we want to be looking for here is we don't see this part of the back extending. We see it staying rounded the entire time. We don't want to be seeing any sort of lifting like Chris did just before. Good. So the second exercise we're going to be doing is a dumbbell incline curl on like an incline bench like so. So all you're going to need here is some dumbbells. So Chris is going to pick up the dumbbells and just let them dangle in his arms. So he's going to be relaxing back into the chair like so. He then wants to slightly shrug up and push his upper back backwards into the bench. He's just going to hold this position as he does a normal bicep curl. Trying to pull the dumbbells up as high as he can without lifting that chest up and down throughout the movement.
So opposite to what the biceps were doing in terms of trying to get the ribs backwards, with our triceps that we're going to train, we're going to try to get the ribs as far forward into his extension as possible. So what we're going to get Tom to do here is a tricep overhead extension. And what Tom's going to start by doing for this movement is getting the tricep into a comfortable position overhead, aiming on trying to keep this upper part of his ribs as high as he can, with keeping the elbows as high as he can also. When we're going through this movement, the goal is to push the thumbs away on a diagonal up to the roof. And as you can see here, Tom is not letting the rib cage collapse as he extends his arm overhead, but he's trying to keep as much thoracic extension as possible through this movement here. So the last exercise that we're going to do to train more thoracic extension is we're going to get Tom doing what we call a window wiper exercise. The goal of this exercise here is to hold a little bit of internal rotation through the shoulder while holding as much retraction and almost like a chest up type position. So what I'll get Tom to do is get his elbows flared a little bit more, and then we're going to try to hold that chest in a retracted position where we're lifting the chest up off the bench, and then as we're going through the movement of elbow extension, trying not to let the chest drop towards the bench again. So the goal of this one here is to try to get the shoulders to come together as much as possible while holding that chest up off the bench and trying not to shrug the movement as much.
So you can use these exercises or a combination of all of them to try and get your rib cage to move in these different ways. So these are just a couple of ways you can start looking at this, but ultimately you can pick and choose what exercises feel like they put you in these positions better for yourself. Give it a try.